I spoke recently about the Binding Martyrs. The Binding Mountains are sort of west and southwest of Rabaul in New Britain. And there in the early part of last century, there were 10 missionaries killed. They were slaughtered brutally. There were 2 priests, 3 brothers and 5 sisters. With Mission Alive, this is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. I also spoke recently about Jesus' strong words to us, strong message, come, follow me, and go proclaim the good news. This is what the missionaries had done, and that's why they were there. They had answered the invitation to come follow me and had came close to Jesus, learned of Jesus, answered his call, and steeped themselves in the Christian tradition and the Catholic Church. And then they were sent on mission to go proclaim the good news, and ended up in this very remote place of the world amongst a people and in a culture that was not theirs, with all the difficulties of understanding a culture, people with a different mentality, language, customs, and so forth. Part of the bargain for them also was that they went with an attitude where they would welcome martyrdom. This was part of the spirituality of the time, and it may be hard for us to relate to, that you go to this place, you accept the hardships and the difficulties, which is in one sense part of martyrdom, but they also accepted the possibility of being physically killed and martyred. Again, we don't really subscribe to that today, and perhaps we don't really understand it. But that was part of their thinking at the time. At the time, the situation, we don't really know what was the motivation or the situation that prompted this act of violence by a handful of people. However, there was a wider situation. There was reaction from the people there, the natives of that area, against the invasion and intrusion of the European colonialists and the European administration, and into that with the missionaries, particularly with the plantations and the government. Very large tracts of land were taken and given over to plantations. And this was important for the administration of the time of the German administration, what was called New Pomerania. Would have been an income, money winner for the administration to have these plantations. So in the bargain, what was happening with the missionaries was also this thing which would be, in a sense, a political matter and an economic matter, that large parts of the people's land was taken over and used to support the administration and the work of the foreigners, the invaders, if you like. At that time too, a priest here in Sydney, an MSC priest, our first MSC Australian priest, Father Shaw, was the procurator, and his job was to procure all that was necessary of the physical goods for the missionaries, and he did that with funds from Germany and France. He got involved with this matter of the martyrdom of these people, and when the replacements came for those missionaries, he accompanied them from Sydney up to Rabaul and went up with them into the mountains to put them in place, to establish them there. So he became very involved in it, and it was very close to his heart. There is, in the making, a documentary about Father Shaw, and that will come out in due course, and will be seen, hopefully, on television. It's a very interesting story, and in a sense, a very complex story. From this, what we learn from history in this way is that we know wherever the human beings are, if the situation in Papua New Guinea at the time was complex, ours also is complex. We live in a complex world. There's many issues, there's There's many people involved. There's many levels on which we work, and that is a fact of life. But that is the world in which we are called to go proclaim the good news. And we have to live with and work with all those complexities. And that is the mission. Thank you for being with us.